What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, I think this might piss a lot of you all off, man. It's going to piss a lot of you all off because it it just goes to show you how little regard they have for all of us as basketball fans. When I say they, I'm talking about the Lemedia. And so look, we all know that things aren't working out with JJ Redneck, as most of us thought it would not. You don't pick a podcaster and a guy that had absolutely no coaching experience and make him the head coach of an NBA franchise. In particular, the head of arguably the most storied franchise in basketball history, at least the most storied in the last 40 years. Okay? You just don't do that. Okay? And they keep trying to move the goalposts every way which around, and they're now stuck. The Lakers are now 12-10. They played who did they play tonight? I think it's the Atlanta Hawks. And LeBron may not play tonight. He's listed as questionable. So if he doesn't play, there goes that 82-game pledge, which really was just him trying to match something that MJ did. That's something that he's struggling to do. But anyway, I want to talk about what was being spoken on NBA Countdown. I think it was NBA Countdown today. And it was Malika Andrews, Michael Wilbon, Kendrick Perkins, who sometimes sounds like he's never blown his nose in his life. And Brian Windhorst. And they're talking about Quincy Oliveri. Remember the same Quincy Oliveri that was balling in the preseason, but for some reason, the Lakers, aka the Fakers, I think assigned him to the G League and signed Bronny to an NBA contract. You know, the same Bronny that was the worst player in the NBA and has been horrible in the few games he played. 2 games in the G League, and now all of a sudden he's disappeared. But anyway, that same Quincy Oliveri, has been signed by the Golden State Warriors. Now, if you know anything about Quincy Oliveri, Steph Curry is his hero. That is his guy. So he got very emotional about being signed by the Warriors. Now, leave it to NBA Countdown to make a segment that's supposed to be about Quincy Oliveri and Steph Curry. Leave it to them to all of a sudden make it about LeBron James. They started talking about how maybe it needed to be revisited, the talk of LeBron going to Golden State. Now, remember, we heard a lot about this after the Olympics. Remember, Steph Curry was clearly the best player on the floor the last 2 games of the Olympics for Team USA. A lot of us believe that he should at very least have been as leading scorer for the team, and having scored something like, what was it, 70-something points the last 2 games of the Olympics for Team USA. Clearly, he won the last 2 games for Team USA, which were games that were very losable. First Serbia and then France. Remember then afterward, there was all this talk about LeBron playing with Steph Curry in LA at first in LA because they want LeBron to get the credit. But now, because things are going so horribly in LA, now they're talking about LeBron going to Golden State and making this late career dream team, or whatever you want to call it. I swear to God, these people are so shameless, man. They are so shameless. So let me get this straight. Once again, LeBron James has a bailout exit strategy if this was to come to pass. I don't think it's going to happen. But the fact that the Lemedia is even bringing this up shows you that they are shameless. They're shameless. I'm talking about how the franchise has failed LeBron James. They've done everything for this guy. They bent over backwards for this clown. They're the ones that made the big trade to bring AD there, got rid of all the young talent, because as we know, with the exception of his kid, he doesn't like playing with young players because it's me. I want to win now. So they traded away all their young talent. They did win a championship in AD's first year, albeit in very incredible circumstances and unique circumstances. But then they became one of the few defending champion teams to lose their crown in the first round, lost to Phoenix Suns. The next couple of years, all the years since then have been either failures or complete mediocre seasons. They're the ones that acquiesced to LeBron James, aka the GM, and got Russell Westbrook over there, even though we all knew it was going to be an absolute disaster. You had Kendrick Perkins gaslighting clowns, thinking, oh, this team going to win 70 games. We knew good goddamn well that team was going to win those 70 games. They went 33 and 49 because Westbrook and LeBron's games don't mesh well at all. Westbrook struggled, as have every third wheel that has had to augment his game plan into the system. Same thing we saw to a great degree, although it wasn't as publicized with Anton Jameson, he's with Cleveland. We saw that obviously with Chris Bosh, he got absolutely destroyed by the media. We saw there was Kevin Love. He didn't get as much destroyed as much, but the guy struggled so much he had to go see a psychiatrist. Russell Westbrook went through absolute hell. Remember also, LeBron's the guy, after the championship team, he's the one requested that they made all those roster changes to try to make them the Los Angeles Warriors. It failed epically. Remember, he's the one that talked the franchise into going after, what's his name? Marc Gasol, the slowest player in the league. They've done nothing. Jenny Buss and Rob Pelinka have done nothing but acquiesce to this guy's demands. And they throwing them under the bus like LeBron is just surrounded by fools. He's the fool. Then you get Darvin Ham fired. Why? Because he didn't want to kiss your ass. Because he didn't want to go along with the plan bringing in the worst player in the NBA and Bronny James. So you get him fired. You bring in your boy JJ Redneck, and look what's going on now. They're horrible. Horrible. Probably going to lose again tonight. Now, instead of him taking responsibility like a man, the media demanding that he takes responsibility as a leader, now all of a sudden y'all want him to go play in Golden State. Why? Why? I know part of the reason is y'all don't want Steph Curry to ever one-up this guy in championships. It pissed them off that Steph Curry won that fourth title a couple years ago. And if Steph Curry wins another championship, he goes one up ahead of LeBron Ramon James. He already has the advantage when it comes to the head-to-head winning tally in the postseason. You know what I'm saying? All he has is that 2016 title, which he benefited from the only suspension ever in NBA Finals history of Draymond Green, the injury to Andrew Bogut, and Steph Curry was playing hurt in that series, and they barely won. Okay? So look, man, this is just pathetic, man. So this guy, if they had their way, would leave Anthony Davis hanging and run to Golden State. Run again, quit on another team after he promised Laker fandom, after he swore he would be the successor to Kobe Bryant and restore dignity to his franchise, a goal in which he has failed miserably in doing so. In this scenario, he would bail on LA and go to play with the Warriors. Then they say, oh, well, Book played with the San Francisco Warriors. He lived in Philly, so he commuted back and forth. So I mean, it's feasible. LeBron can live in LA and play for the Golden State Warriors. Oh my goodness, man! Haven't we told y'all about this? Didn't we tell y'all that if things didn't work out, that they would look for some type of exit strategy for this dude? You know, now I don't think it's going to happen, but the fact that they're talking about it, mind you, the season only 25% complete, and they're already quitting. They already got him quitting LA, quitting JJ Redneck, who they're not even blaming. They didn't say his name, by the way. That's another thing I want to point out. In the segment, they didn't blame JJ Redneck. They blamed Jenny Buss and Rob Pelinka and the team. But they would not blame JJ. Last year, a lot of these clowns spent their entire time blaming Darvin Ham. And I got to tell you, people talk about how KD's move to Golden State was weak. But LeBron has a long-time rivalry with Steph Curry. If he ran his ass to Golden State, he is the weakest. This would supplant KD's as the weakest in NBA history because both of them at the same stages of their career, basically. We could argue Curry got a little bit more than Tank, but Curry's already showing some signs of like on the decline. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. He's still effective though. LeBron, I suspect, you know, I can't say it too much on YouTube, but I suspect there's some bubbly, you know, Dr. Frankenstein's chemicals that are percolating through those veins. I'll just put it like that, right? If he were to go and run from LA and take his ass to Golden State in order to chase a ring, I don't ever want to hear this guy ever being mentioned as a top 10 all-time player, let alone being mentioned in the GOAT conversation. That'll be the weakest move ever. This era, the last 10 years, will clearly be the era of Steph Curry and LeBron. Everything he accomplished will be with another asterisk on top of the asterisk we already give a lot of his career. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.